Welcome back. I think today's conversation has been more about awareness than a debate, to be honest. And it's been such an eye-opener. And I hope that this video goes as far as possible, especially to young people who say, you know, school na scam. Because, well, perhaps it's not much of a scam. All right. So, but thank you so much for sharing some of this amazing words of wisdom with us. So we're going to play this game called Agree or Disagree on our Fun and Flow segment. The question is going to pop up on your screen, and we'd like you to type in if you agree or disagree. So it says, oh, sorry, can you help us?
Online certifications can't replace a 4-year degree.
Do you agree or disagree?
Online certifications can't replace a 4-year degree.
Okay. Online certification
cannot replace a 4-year degree.
Oh my goodness, even I'm struggling. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Sorry, what do you think? Do you think an online certification can replace a 4-year degree?
Okay, so I agree that it cannot replace a 4-year degree.
Okay.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Right.
So I believe online certifications can be additions, but not necessarily replacements. I mean, she mentioned how she, you know, takes courses once in a while to still build herself.
Right.
And also because, I don't know, maybe because some of these things are online, the level of seriousness or concentration or commitment to it might not be as it would be if you're reporting to a class, you know, daily. So, I mean, it's good as additions, but not, it won't, it still might not measure up to, you know, an actual degree.
What did we say? Did we let you know that this is the famous Mrs. We know we call her Mrs. Saba. We call her Mrs. Saba. This is her husband, by the way. Wow! Nice to meet you. First class couple, by the way. Imagine. Why didn't you just find one third class? You know, who do you want the third class to marry now, Mrs. Saba? You found the first class babe.
We don't do that.
First class.
We don't do that.
That's the fact. The fact. You're attracted to that, you know. I can't imagine what your children would be like. They'll be so what do you agree or disagree?
I definitely agree.
Not because your wife.
No. I agree that online certifications can't replace, because besides what you learn, the formal education system also, you develop social skills. There's something you gain from interacting with people. You learn teamwork. You can't learn that behind a screen or a laptop. And then there's also that level of intentionality, that direct access you have with your tutors, your lecturers. It gives you an edge. So definitely, like she said, online certifications can be additions, but it can't replace.
DT.
Okay, so for me, I'm going to disagree. Because I've taken courses that are, you know, I mean, turned my life around online, 360 degree. I took a training for 12 months. Yes, and in the middle of it,
your laptop.
Yes, yes, and at times I have to sleep at 3 a.m. to submit my assignments, and in the middle of it, I also traveled to meet some of my, you know, lecturers, my team. So I think it's a fantastic experience for me. So I think I went to 3 countries within those 12 months.
Wow. And it beats all your degrees, hands down.
It's an MBA, and it was my MBA, and it was, I mean, it was, so we cannot just put it, we cannot just put it inside a box and say, we can't just put it in a box and say,
let me say, I also agree with DC. I disagree as well. Maybe because, I mean, in 2025, just, I mean, some of the things you mentioned, for example, that makes a degree special, which is like, okay, you're around people and all that. There are, I mean, people who don't have to, who are in like open universities, who are doing their degrees, you know, virtually. So for me, I think, yes, I know this generation is definitely doing a lot more virtually. I just feel like for a serious person, that is, if you're serious and you're on your own, you don't need, you know, there's people who are proactive, who are self-starters, and they can just take a few courses. Like a lot of tech people, you know, have done that, just taking courses here and there, and it has really worked for that. I know it can't work for everybody. If you are not the kind of person who's disciplined, you know that you're going to be missing. Yes, you're going to be missing courses and classes, etc. But I know people, and I think we're in 2025 where things are now remote. People are choosing to do things virtually. I think that it can, especially if you're very serious. You take a few courses here and there, because some people are just very gifted. So just like you, I think this is some of the things you do were things you learned. Do you learn them on your own, or did your parents, encourage you?
Well, it makes of both. It makes of both. I was I was a very adventurous child.
You're breaking things in the house.
Breaking things in the house. I was that type of person.
Right.
So I mean, secondary school, there's this carpenter that had a shop just behind the house. So they give us geography projects. You need to make this, make that. I'll go there to sit with him, learn how to use a chisel and hammer, sculpt things with wood, all of that. That's how I picked up, things like that myself. And then my parents encouraged me in the sense that, they see, okay, this boy has tendency to want to do this. They allow me.
Yes.
They allow me. If you walk to the BQ, our old house, you'll see paintings all over the wall. Paintings all over the wall. I remember there was a time I made I got a basketball. I couldn't buy the nets and whatnot, so I took scraps of planks, nailed it together, and I nailed it literally at the front of the house on the wall. They didn't say, what are you doing? They allowed me. So they faced the wall.
So do you think that perhaps if you didn't get your degree and you had sort of maybe just done a few courses here and there with some of the things you learned from the carpenter and some of the things they had been able to do naturally, would you still be able to do the things you do?
Deep sigh. Well, I'd say with respect to renovations, executions, maybe yes. But with respect to my practice as an architect, no.
True.
Because that requires special training. You can't learn that online. You can't learn that online.
Like doctors as well. So true, so true. Just like we said, this really has not been a debate. I think it's about balance.
Yes.
And I think, young people have to find that balance. Unfortunately, you're seeing in Nigeria where they're going to ask for a certificate first. So don't jump off of this show and say, skills. Exactly. I'm not going to school. School is not a scam, I will say. And I'd like you all to say a few things to maybe a young person out there who feels he's very gifted and just feels like uni is just going to be a waste of my time. And I think there's some people who uni is a waste of their time.
It is.
Yes.
It is,
I don't know if you agree. Oh, sorry, I know you're a big on certificate, but there's some people who are just wasting away in uni. Another deep sigh.
I would say yes, for sure. Your grades might not always define you, but still putting effort in self-development. You might not be interested in the 4-year, 5-year, 6-year course that you're studying, but even though you do not like it, ensure that you're still building yourself in some other way. So if you are, in quotes, failing in maybe medicine, you are still maybe excelling in tech, so that you don't come out and fail on both, both ends. So whichever way, shall make sure you're doing something that you will like and you will eventually practice.
So for me, I would say that from what we've said today, your certificate will open the door, and then your skills will keep you there. So let's put that in mind as we pursue our goals and dreams. Thank you.
How about you, architect Saba?
All right, so I'll just say the goal is to make the best out of every situation. Yes, you are in school. It's not compulsory that is what you study in school that you would end up doing. But it gives you a leverage. It's best to at least just have that leverage.
So true.
It's best to at least just have it.
Exactly.
So, and like I said before, it does something to you that gives you an edge over people that don't. So definitely go to school.
Right, yes. I'll say go to school too. But I'll also ask employers, people to also change your mindset. There's maybe that third class person who could be actually what you need. Yes. Someone who finished with a third class. So let's not hurriedly judge people. Yes. And just allow to see. But then that's why if you're already, if you haven't gotten that third class yet, try and find a way not to get it. Because trust me, they will discriminate. And you're going to work extra hard. Exactly. You are going to work too hard, harder than you need to show that, okay, I'm not dumb, I'm not, it's just that, school was just school, no work for me. You know what I mean? So please, if you still have the chance, get good grades, but then of course also develop yourself on the side. All right, so our wise words on the web today says, formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Jim, Ron, absolutely. Educate yourself. Don't come out and then start blaming your parents or your teachers. At the end of the day, you're your first parent. So parent yourself, especially when you're over 18. Focus in school, focus in class, get good grades, and then of course work on developing yourself as well. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Architect Saba, for coming on the show today. Thank you. Anything else you want to say? I'm sorry before you go. Today's Today's discussion shows that the world of work is evolving and fast. While formal education still matters, real-world skills, digital fluency and adaptability are becoming just as important, if not more. The big question now is, are we preparing young people for the reality of today's job market or just for outdated ideals? We'd love to hear from you. Head to our social media pages and tell us what you think. Use the hashtag #TheBigConversation and tag us. Let us keep this conversation going beyond the show. Until next time, keep thinking, keep questioning, and keep growing. This has been an amazing edition of The Big Conversation.